Hello and welcome back to another review with me, Kevin, from Kevin Grant on Whisky. Maybe the last one of the month, which is going to be my last one to open. This is another Christmas gift. And I've always thought I'll just wait and do a wee series of the Christmas gifts that I got and open them kind of live and do first kind of tastings with it. So what we have this time, we've got another Highland of Deanston. So we've done Lechic the other week, which is in the same family of Deanston and Bunnahabhain by Distill. So Distill is the company that own it. South African company. It's a close distillery to me as well. So Deanston 10-year-old Bordeaux red wine cask finish is what we have here. So let's see what pop we get with this. Very satisfying. Pour that in here. Colour of it's wonderful. So this is 10-year-old Bordeaux red wine cask finish. So it's not fully mature, that's been finished. Trying to do some research on this, it's difficult to find. I was actually at the distillery maybe last week, I think it was, and I did ask the question, and they were unbelievably more than helpful, but struggled to find enough because it's a travel retail only. I think there was about 6,000 bottles made of this, but they couldn't tell me the specifics of the maturation of how many years. So with this, I'm going to suspect maybe a 2 to 3 year finish just by colour alone. So we're looking at the Bordeaux cask being from the Bordeaux region of France, which is wine capital of the world. So I'm looking just now, before I've even had a sniff of this, big deep fruit flavours. Hopefully it's still got that undertone of that amazing Deanston malty, honey notes on those really good bourbon casks that they use. So I'm hoping to get a nice wee balance from this. We look back a little bit of history. Deanston, in always alive just now, isn't really old. 1965, Deanston came around. They never brought out their first whisky, and Deanston was put on the bottle, I think, until 1974. I had to write something down here, but it was 1972, 1971, Invergordon distillers took over the kind of processes in the distillery itself. You fast forward to 1990, I think it is, and then this is when is it Burn Stewart, so I had to write that down as well. Burn Stewart distillers from Glasgow have bought Deanston distillery for £2.1 million in 1990, sorry, for £2.1 million, which isn't a lot of money for a distillery if you look at it. Maybe not as well established then. In the 90s, Deanston was still not this huge, maybe not what it is today. 1990, so put it to there. So we're sitting in 1990, £2.1 million. We fast forward again to, whoever wrote that, I've got loads of these scribbles here. We fast forward to 2013, 23 years later, and this is when Distill come along. So it's been acquired for 2.1, and Distill come along and buy it all for £160 million. So a little bit of profit in there, isn't there? They've obviously seen something good from this. They've inherited Bunnahabhain, they've also inherited Tobermory and Lechic, which is absolutely massive. One of the things I was seeing just now that I can't really make heads or tails of about Heineken being involved, if that's going to be sold into Heineken. I know Heineken have shares in a small amount in Distill itself, so I think they maybe take full ownership of this soon, but I'm not too sure. So we look at Deanston. It's a great wee distillery. It's not the biggest distillery, but it's a great wee tour. They've got amazing whiskey. I've always enjoyed it. The Virgin Oak I really enjoy. The 12-year-old I really enjoy. I don't think I've had a whiskey that I've not. The only time was they brought one out for the supermarket, the Kentucky cask I think it was, which was just okay, but I think that really kind of got brought back. They've maybe seen how the reaction were to everyone, and they've brought that back, and now they're concentrating on core ranges and some nice cask finishes, and this is going to be one of them. As we say, travel retail only, so you'll see this at airports. You won't see it in the shop. Even when I was in, they didn't even have it to sell, because it is an travel retail, exclusive. Still sticks to the DNA of 46.3%, which I think is really good. Non-chill filtered and natural colour in Bordeaux red wine casks. And you can tell by that colour, it's got that kind of pinky hue to it. I'm going to just get the nose in this now. I'm going to get stuck into it and see what we get from this. Southern Highland, right on the cusp of lowland, I would say. They're right about there, but an established Highland whisky in distillery. And I've used my wee Deanston glass that I got when I've done the warehouse tour. So we'll get this on the nose first, we'll get it on the palate. I've got my wee water dropper here as well, just to try and add a little bit in, just to see if it changes anything. But I'm not sure what to expect. Now let's go on the nose first and see what we can get with this. Wine is definitely the forefront of this for sure. Soft spice on it, rich, deep, juicy fruit, blackberry, plum, dark cherry. There is that softer side of the honey's trying to come through, and I think that's maybe just that longer maturation in the bourbon cask compared to this finish. You can tell it's still under there. That DNA of Deanston still lies in. It's not overpowered on the nose as much as I thought, but there's definitely that under note of honey kicking about. The alcohol, the 46.3%, isn't there, and I think maybe that wine cask being a lot kind of fruity led front facing for us maybe dilutes that alcohol smell. Yeah, but plum, black currant, black cherry, all the darker fruits, not, I wouldn't even say red fruits, but the kind of darker fruits. We'll get this on the palate, but yeah, dark fruits, slight bit of honey just coming, an undertone there. No slander, no? It tastes quite, I wouldn't say thin, but in a good way. It's not sticky, which on the nose, getting all these kind of red fruits and things, it's not that kind of really sticky, gooey taste I'm getting from it. It's a nice, clean, not much tannin, I would say. It's kind of more led now, the more acidity side to it if you drink wine. It's not like tannin which drawing me in, it's not dry. A little bit of maybe white pepper on the background there, tiny bit of spice, but it's very clean. Still, you're getting more, still fruit led. Yeah, the spice is coming through a little bit more there that time. It stays thin, it stays clean. That little bit of Deanston DNA is coming through, that slight, I'm still getting a slight undertone of maltiness now on the palate, which I always usually get with the standard Deanston core ranges. Staying a bit spicy, but it's not dry. I'm putting a bit of water in. I don't think it needs water at all. Honestly, I think it's the ABV is absolutely great for it. So everything as well with Deanston, with ingredients wise, everything is all Scottish, which is great, which I love. I want to keep it that way. The only thing that isn't is obviously the cask, which they've got from France, from Bordeaux. There is taste notes in the back that I would like to keep away from, but I'm just having a wee look to see if it's given me any indication of a finish, but there was nothing on the tin either. So it comes in the usual wee tin, but there's absolutely nothing here on there, just a 10-year-old, and it's a Deanston red wine finish. And you know what I said last time when I'd done the Leipzig, I think wine and peat go hand in hand. For some reason it just works unbelievably well, better than non-peated whiskey and wine casks. The water's not changed much. I'd maybe say that I can start to see the underlying maltiness coming through again. I think I got used to those darker fruits. It does smell nice. It feels, it maybe the first pour, it feels maybe a little bit tight. I do feel this has more to offer. I was expecting bigger, bolder flavours, and I think this is going to be one, the further it goes down, the better this is going to get. As I say, the palate is quite thin just now to start, not in a bad way. It's not a bad whiskey, it's just I was expecting something different. Yeah, it's a nice spice to it though. It's nice. It's not overly spicy, it's not dry spice. As I say, your mouth keeps salivating with this one. You're not dry and trying to draw everything in. It hangs around, the flavour's still staying there. That honey note's kind of coming underneath, a bit more toffee fudge now as well. I think that's that, the bourbon cask coming through. Then it does finish with that plummy, grape, your berries, softer spices, just the right side of maybe a finish to a whiskey. I think they did bring one out as well, which was a full maturation in Bordeaux. I don't know how I'd feel about that, but this finish seems to be a good balance. I suspect if it was maybe an 11-year-old and it had an extra year in the wine cask, it would be a little bit too much and maybe overpower. As I say, it's a little bit thin just now. It's not bad whiskey. It's not sit back in your seat and go, wow, this is absolutely fantastic. But I do have a sneaky indication that the next couple of pours, this will open up to me and this will get better. I feel like it has a lot more to offer, and I've just not got that on the first sip. And maybe again, I know I'm opening them live to show, but I think I should be maybe opening them and letting them sit for a lot longer to just give it that little bit more life to release, because it is cold in here as well. I've not had the heating on, so it's quite cold today. So I don't know if that's got something to do with it. I've enjoyed it. It's not out of this world whiskey, but again, that's me personally with wine cask and non-peated whiskey. I love Deanston, and I think I've just got a really sneaky indication that if I review this again in maybe 6 months' time, that I'll be raving about it. But it's a great nose, it is. I love wine as well. I think French wine's absolutely brilliant, so I suspect it's going to get good. I've got fingers crossed. I can feel it's going to get really, really good. It's trying to show me something. It's just not there yet. But as I say, I think next couple of drams, this will be going. I could sit and smell it for ages again. No, I love that balance of the honey to coconut to the berries, grape, plum, black cherry, blackcurrant. It's magic. So I think I need to go and sit back with this one. This is one that needs to definitely, I need to get to know a little bit better. Price wise, I'm not too sure. It was gifted to me. I am enjoying it. It's just I think the next few pours are going to get better for me. Colour's absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to go and finish this wee dram. I'm going to sit back and relax. I'll probably go and put the heating on as well because it's cold, and being in Scotland where it's been -5 today is not being good, so I forgot to turn the heating on before I got home. So I'm going to sit back. I'll just relax with this. I think maybe pour another one that'll keep me up a little bit quicker. But again, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for staying with the channel. I think I've just hit over 900, so I'm getting close to that 1,000 subscribers. So if you're not done so, hit that subscribe button already. Next week, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. I've got something that was gifted to me that I've already opened, which I don't know much about, but I might just review it anyway because it's pretty exciting. So I think I'll just go for that. But again, everyone, thanks for tuning in. As always, I've been Kevin from Kevin Gatton Whisky. Join me next week. Let's talk whiskey. It's lunch.